Okay, we're recording. Welcome back to I've Got Something to Tell You with Taylor and
Colleen.
So we're doing a mini-sode, and we're calling it short stories for now. So it's basically just gonna be, I read a lot of Reddits. Colleen hears a lot of stories and stuff too, but they're not big enough stories to make into our actual episodes. So we're going to read them.
Yeah.
Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sounds right to me.
Okay, it sounds right to me
Sounds
too.
like what we're about to do. So.
True. So, do you want to go first?
Sure.
Okay.
Okay, so I like stories. Well, I like a lot of different things. But I think it's funny. Is that the right way to describe it? I think it's funny when, like, there's clearly a child impersonating an adult.
Yeah.
So, this story is the story of Dr. Love, who was a teenager who pretended to be a doctor.
Oh my god.
And so it starts off with Anita Morrison, who is suffering from sharp stomach pains. Mm-hmm. And she comes across this clinic online called New Birth, New Life Medical Center and Urgent Care. The longer the name, the bigger the lie, in my opinion.
People just go with it at that point.
Yeah. Lots of words jumbled together. Anyway, so she calls the office, and this is in West Palm Beach, Florida, and she speaks to a man named Dr. Malachi Love Robinson, who offered to pay her an in-home visit. He shows up wearing a white lab coat and a stethoscope slung around his neck. So Love Robinson examines Morrison, focusing on her legs, heart, and lungs. And he told her she had arthritis. Mm-hmm. Then he sold her natural vitamins to dull the discomfort. And that wasn't the last time Morrison, who was 86, would see Dr. Love. She said she allowed the baby-faced physician...
Dr. Babyface.
Dr. Babyface. To return to her home 4 times, although by early January, she realized something wasn't right inside. She started inside her home. So she starts noticing that personal checks were going missing, and that just stuff around the house was, like, disappearing. Mm-hmm. And that she found out that Dr. Love had gained access to her checking account and had stolen her identity and charged up to $34,000.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So he was arrested late that year. What year? Mm-hmm. People need to do better. Sorry. Anyways, he gets arrested, and basically he's been faking that he was a doctor when he was 18 years old. Do you want to see a picture of him? And you tell me if you think that this looks like an adult.
No.
But
I feel like with the glasses, maybe he'd be thrown...
He looks 18.
It's like they stole the money from me.
Yeah.
That would probably happen.
You don't have to defend it, Taylor. He didn't scam you.
I know.
But basically, put on a white lab coat, put on a stethoscope, you can get yourself $34,000.
I might just do that. Just kidding. I like
that is clearly a child.
Yeah. I mean, okay, the professional picture, when he's like...
It looks like the way that you would pose to be a fake doctor.
It does.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like a parody.
Yeah.
Well, that was interesting. The one, okay, I picked out, it's really short, and it was making me, I don't know, rethink, but, okay, I'm just gonna tell it.
Just tell it.
Okay, so I got this from the Glitch in the Matrix thread, and I've actually read this one before, but, so it's a retelling of their story. So it says, I was leaving my driveway to drive 1 mile to town. I had just pulled out, and there was a thick fog rolling in. I had only gone a half a block at most, very slowly, when I saw a very bright light through the fog. And so, as I drove closer, I saw Phillips 66 gas station. It wasn't there the day before. I pulled into it in shock, and a man came out. I asked him how a gas station could have been built so fast, and he looked at me strangely. He said it had been there for 88 years. Oh, 80 years. I don't know why I said 88. I asked him where I was, and when he told me, I began to shake uncontrollably. I was 300 miles away from home. And then she describes driving home shakily and it taking her hours. And the person that wrote this says it creeps them out because it's like, I guess there's like an explanation of like highway hypnosis where you're just like driving.
Yeah.
Which, I don't know if they meant like autopilot, but I feel like that's when you know your route.
Yeah.
But crazy. So that was her story.
Cool. I can tell one off the top of my noggin.
Do it.
So there was this story about so this guy is telling this story, and it's his own recounting of something that happened to him. Mm-hmm. And he is saying like, you know, I went out one night with a buddy of mine, and I had been going pretty hard, like drinking, like, you know, in his 20s, like that kind of thing. So he's like, I didn't really want to drink that night. Yeah. But I went out with my buddy to like hang out with him. Mm-hmm. And they go out and they meet this woman, and the woman starts like really pushing, like she's like, hey guys, like, do you guys want shots? Like, do you want this? Like, it's on me. Like, I'll pay for it. And the guy's like, no, I don't really want to drink. Like, why are you like pushing this on me? Yeah. And like he notices that she isn't really drinking either.
Ooh,
and yeah.
Creepy.
But like his buddy starts getting like pretty drunk and like, you know, kind of thinking he's gonna get lucky with the girl potentially, kind of thing. And the guy also recalls that she was very distinguished because she had very bright red hair. And so like she stood out and she was attractive, and you know, so she keeps like pushing drinking. And then she's like, well, why don't you guys come back to my place? Like, my roommates are hanging out there.
I think I know this one.
I've told it to you before.
Okay, that's
yeah.
Yeah, keep telling it because I want to hear it again.
So she's like, do you guys want to go back to my place? My roommates are hanging out there, like, and we can stop and grab more drinks. And he's like, again, like, why are you so... Like he starts describing it as like she almost seems attracted to drunk people. Mm-hmm. Like it's just like weird how much she's pushing it on him. Mm-hmm. And so they stop and they grab some, I don't know, what are the big things of beer called?
Like a 40 or whatever.
A 40, yeah. Mm-hmm. And so they stop and grab a few of those, and he ends up pouring his out without her knowing, and he had bought apple juice, and he pours the apple juice into his drink because he's like, he had been drinking at the bar, but now he's like, I'm just not trusting this woman. Mm-hmm. And so then, but the friend is still drinking. She is clearly pretending to. And they get back to the house and they walk in, and he's like, it was really weird because the house was like empty. Like, and he asks her, how long have you been living here? And she's like, oh, like a few months. And he's like, well, it certainly doesn't look lived in for a few months.
Yeah. And I feel like at that point, like, your alarm bells are probably going off in your head, like, I need to get out of here.
Yeah. And so he says, hey, I have to go use the bathroom. And, friend, also, sorry, this is what happens when I do it off the top of my noggin. Friend gets too drunk, ends up going home, but the girl is like showing interest in the guy. Mm-hmm. So he's like, all right, well, maybe as long as I can
get some,
like, I'll still go.
Yeah.
But so then friend is gone. They're at the house. House is sketchy. He's like, hey, like, I have to use the bathroom. So he goes to use the bathroom, and he feels like he can hear her talking to somebody. Mm-hmm. And then he comes out and he's like, hey, were you talking to somebody? And she's like, no. Ooh. And he starts actually pretending to be drunk so that it's like throwing her off, like thinking if like he's not all there. And so she's like, no, but like sit down, like I'll pour you another one, like blah, blah, blah. And then he just gets this like weird feeling that there's another person in the house. Mm-hmm. And so he then is like pretending to drink more to like throw her off, make her think that he doesn't have his like wherewithal. And then
he knows he's like a target at that point.
Yeah, and then he goes to the bathroom again, and he comes back out and he sees her, but he sees her like run into another room like really quickly. Mm-hmm. And he was like, that was not the same girl that's been here, but she has the same hair. So like, he was like, that is another person in a wig that is pretending to be this girl. Mm-hmm. Or for some whatever reason. And he's like, I didn't even think twice. I ran out of that house and did not look back.
Hell no.
Next day he calls because they said that they had been renting the house. He ends up finding like the listing for the house and calls the owners, and because he's just interested in like what the heck was going on in there.
Yeah.
And so he's like, hey, like, you know, I was there with your current residents like the other night and I left something and I can't get in touch with them. Any chance you might be able to like give them a message for me? And they're like, what are you talking about? We don't have anybody living in this house.
Ew.
Yeah.
Do you think like they were gonna like steal from him, or?
I think it was probably more nefarious than that.
Like they were gonna kill him?
Yeah. That's what I think.
Yeah. I don't know.
Yeah. But yeah, 2 people, what I imagine in like a really bad like Black Widow red wig kind of thing. Like Black Widow like from like the Avengers.
Yeah.
I don't know, but
that's scary. I don't know if you remember, but at my bachelorette a million years ago. Do you remember when we were gonna leave and
the taxi?
That Escalade looking one, and the girl trying to get us to get in. Yeah. And then Kelly was like, no.
Yeah.
And I was like, okay.
Well, because we were trying to get a this was like a little bit, I mean, Uber I think was a thing, but it wasn't like it wasn't the only.
I think it was I don't know. I know when going there, we called a taxi because I remember I had to do it, and I was so awkward doing it. I was like, how do I order it? Can I order a taxi? It sounded like a prank call.
Yeah.
But yeah, I feel like stuff like that like can happen like when you're out drinking, and I don't know, people are crazy.
Have you ever heard the stories too of like, these are the ones that always throw me off, and maybe, I don't know if there are like glitches in the Matrix or how they would be like defined, but there's one that stood out to me, and like, I'm gonna get it like mostly wrong, but I'm gonna try and tell it anyways. But there was one where this like girl, she's going to get into her car, and she just like in her mind she hears this voice of like, get in now, get in your car now. And then she like, so she does, she gets into the car, and then she hear like in her mind she's just, all she hears is lock the door now. And so she does, and then she and
chills.
Yeah, and then it was like, get yourself out of here, you need to leave now, get yourself out of here. And so she just like takes off, and in the back like rear view mirror she sees this guy come out from the car that was like not from inside the car, but like he was hiding behind the car that was next to hers.
Oh my god.
And he
chills.
like gets out, and she was like, I don't know what made me like put all of my trust into this voice, but like
it was looking out for her.
It was looking out for me. And there's so many stories of like people who,
I love those stories.
I know,
because like, it just I love reading those too, and it reminded me of another one of this girl. It wasn't like, no one was after her, but she was driving, and her steering wheel moved on its own. Otherwise she would have like went off a cliff or something like that. And I wish I had the actual story, because there was like a lot more to it, but it's just like things like looking out for you. It's crazy.
There's so many where I've heard like, they're like, I don't know what this voice was or how or whatever, because like they'll be like, I'm not that type of person that believes in like the ookie spooky or whatever. Yeah. But that whatever it was adamant, and I had to listen to it, and I inherently trusted it.
Yeah. Like guardian angel.
Mm-hmm.
That's so cool. I totally forgot about those till you told me that right now.
Yeah, those are cool. But I feel like then I have moments where I'm just like telling myself, but like making up own scenarios where I'm just like, lock the door now.
Yeah.
Like, get in the car. Like,
I feel like I do that too, though.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we just always gotta be on high alert.
Yeah. What else can I brain dump on you?
I know, I'm like, you got all the good stories. Keep them coming.
Have you heard about the like tricks that people will do in order to like get you out of your car so that they can get you?
I've seen some on like TikTok or Instagram like recently.
Mm-hmm.
I don't remember exactly what they were, but they were like weird ones. Like they put something on like your door handle or
Yep.
Okay.
So there's one.
I don't remember what it was though.
There's one where it's like something, they put something on your windshield.
Oh yeah.
Or no. It's they put something on your windshield wipers so that like when no, that wouldn't make any sense because it would have to be raining outside for you to use.
Don't they put something underneath your thing so you like?
It's something to like force you to get out of the car, but like
or to distract you before you get into it too.
Yeah, so that you're like inhibited because you're reaching for whatever the thing is, and then they grab you.
Ugh.
So if somebody leaves something, back of your car, probably then, right? That would make the most sense. We're not giving tips on how to get people.
That would make the most sense. You're like, if you want to make it easier.
Yeah, well, I mean, like,
the trunk's
right?
right
Because
there.
like I would just obviously see it on the front of my car, but like in the back of my car, it would take me a minute, and I'd have to get out and walk around.
And I'm so like, I guess paranoid. Like when I'm, because you know, like sometimes people will like follow you to your car in like the parking lot. Sometimes, like I don't know if they're like asking for money or like, I've had like 2 people like follow me and I was like, no.
Yeah.
It's just like, you don't need to be following to people's cars.
Yeah.
If you're like asking for money or whatever.
There was one time where I was getting into my car and I had like the door, like I was getting groceries, but it was like just like one bag of groceries. So I was just putting in my front seat. So I like got into my car, turned to put the groceries down on my passenger seat and turned, and there was a man like right in my doorway.
Ew.
And he was asking for money, and I was like I just didn't have any cash on me, and I was like, I'm happy to go into the store and get you like food or water if that's what you need, but like I don't have any cash on me. But like it felt like he was
invasive.
Almost in my car.
Yeah.
And I was just like, bro, like no.
That just reminded me of another time in the. I feel like a lot of stuff happens in the parking lot.
Yeah, it does.
The Fry's by my old house, you know that area. I remember I saw this like woman, and I think it was a child, but like an older one walking around, but she'd be going up to people's like windows and stuff. And then later on, I saw next door, there was like a picture taken of her, and I guess she was trying to pull women out of their cars.
Oh
like,
my gosh.
I think it was like, I mean, I would think like sex trafficking type stuff. And I was like, because you always think like men, but then it's just like, you know what I mean?
They talk about that a lot on like that strategically, because there are a lot of stories about like men and women co-serial killers. Yeah. And it makes you feel safer like as a woman if the man is with a woman. And there was even this one duo, and I don't want to say who they were because I feel like I know it, but I don't want to get it wrong because they were really famous. Where they would drive around and like pick up girls, but the woman would actually like pretend to have a baby with her. Like they would put a car seat in the back. Okay. So that like it's a man and his wife and their
safe.
Baby.
Yeah.
It's safe. Like they're a family, but they used it as part of like the ruse to make them have that false sense of security.
Oh, that reminds me of like the like everything.
No, I love it. Yeah. Tell me more.
Stories where like people are driving and there's like a child in the middle of the road, and then they get out of their cars and they get ambushed. Have you heard of those?
No, I've never heard that before.
No, that's like a thing.
Really?
I don't know, like
where? Everywhere?
I can't remember. I don't remember if it's like other countries or if it's here, but I've seen it like multiple times.
That's insane.
So,
God, can you just not trust anybody these days? Kids are in on it now.
I've seen, like, I know this one's in another country because I see this a lot, but, like, like, a car will be pulled over, I think, and they'll, or wait. No, I don't even know. I won't even get into it because I can't remember. But it's, like, similar. Like, they ambush the car, but I don't remember how they do it exactly. But it's in another country. Mm-hmm. But that one always scares me, too, because I feel like they don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Trying to think of any other insane
like I was just like went on a trail to like
Hey, there are no rules here in podcast land.
This is what you're gonna get with these minisodes.
Yeah. Oh, I told you a story about my mom's friend one time, and I promised you one time I would tell you the other story regarding her. The one that she went home and she went into her closet and saw the guy's feet under the clothes. Mm-hmm. Okay. So another story, same friend. So unfortunate, but that's life. And so she was at an event with coworkers, and one of the guys asked if he could get a ride home with her. And like, she knew the guy from work. She felt like pretty friendly with him, so she felt fine with giving him a ride home. Now, her dad, and regardless what your feelings are about this, her dad really wanted her to have a gun in her car in order, like, in case anything happened, that she had something to protect her. Yeah. But she always kept it unloaded. So it was just like a matter of put fear into them. Yeah. And so she had it like stored beside her driver's seat. Mm-hmm. And the guy starts getting like handsy with her, and she keeps saying like, no, like, please stop. And then he just like keeps getting more aggressive with her. It gets to a point where she like pulls over to the side of the road to like really be like, bro, like, either you can get out right now, or like, you have to stop. Mm-hmm. Well, no, you have to stop, or you can get out of the car. Sorry. Yeah. Those are the options. And so then he like gets even more like livid and angry with her that he's like being rejected, and he starts getting violent with her. And so she pulls the gun out to scare him and just be like, you have to stop. And he ends up wrestling the gun away from her. She gets out of the car, she starts running, and she can just hear him clicking the...
Oh my God. Yeah. That's so scary. Yeah. That poor lady.
I know. I mean, she's fine.
But it's just like to have
both of those. Yeah, to have both of those.
That's traumatizing.
Yeah. No, 100%. And luckily she, again, had the wherewithal to like get out of it, but just also unfortunate that it did happen to her.
Ooh. Yeah. That is creepy.
But also good thing that she kept it unloaded. Who knows what would have happened.
I know. Like,
but again, you can't trust anybody. This was a coworker.
That's wild that it was a coworker. So, did your mom ever say any, like, did she, like, call the police on him and, like, he get fired?
I honestly don't remember. She told me these stories, like, a long time ago.
You're like, tell me more.
Yeah. Hey, we need a follow-up on what's going on with this. She's like, let me tell you the third story. Like, geez Louise.
Yeah, she needs to come on the podcast.
She's got, like, a whole freaking saga at this point.
This is where you get your love for these stories from. I know.
Well, and it's funny that you say that, because I think about it sometimes where I'm just like, where did I get an interest? And then I just remember like, oh yeah, my dad used to talk about the Night Stalker all the time. My mom would tell me these like horrifying stories. Like, I loved watching Criminal Minds every afternoon. Like...
Well, I don't know where my love for, like, spooky stuff came from, because I don't think anyone is into it.
Well, you had experiences, though.
Yeah, maybe that's why. It's just interesting. Yeah. Yeah. And I don't like scary movies. I just like reading about it, and I like hearing people's stories. Mm-hmm. Just to be clear.
You used to like scary movies.
That is true.
What happened to you?
I don't know. I became a wuss. Well, I feel like the Strangers, I feel like that's more of a thriller, but no, it's scary. Yeah, that's But it's scary. Not like ghosts, though.
Yeah, but then you really liked the Paranormal Activity movies.
No, those terrified me.
Okay, well, you wouldn't shut up about them when you...
I think because I scared myself and I was like,
Oh,
like
you
Colleen
need...
has
Yeah.
to see it too. Because I only saw the first one. Tara likes all of them.
Okay.
She really likes them.
Because I remember both of you guys telling me about them, like,
You're like, can you guys
extensively.
stop?
And I was like, I don't know how to make it more clear that I don't want to listen to this.
I did watch, I can't remember if I told you this. Wait, do you already know what I'm going to say?
No.
Okay. Like, okay, so we had, like, this guest room in my old house, and I feel like, I don't know why people just, like, left movies, but it was back in the DVD days, and I was, like, really bored. And I was home by myself, and I found a movie, and it was The Exorcism of Emily
Why
Rose.
the hell would
and
you?
I was just like, let's just pop it in and see. Like, I don't know what my thought process was, but I sat there and I watched the whole thing, and it was actually a really good movie. And I don't
Really?
remember it being, like, super scary, but I'm sure it was. If it was Exorcism.
Yeah. That's, like, top tier terror right there.
Yeah. I mean, that house was also kind of creepy, too, so maybe something possessed me to watch it. I don't know.
Possessed you?
Mm-hmm. It's like, watch the movie.
It's the opposite of the, like, voices that save people's lives.
Yeah. And that's also the house where my mom's clients gave her 2 Ouija boards for some reason. And she used it. And I just came home and she was, oh, well, no, I was there already. She gave them 2. I don't know why. And
One for each hand.
Yeah, multitasking. And Seb had one and my mom had one. And I'm sure they opened up a portal.
I don't like that.
I don't either, but that was the old house, so we're good.
Yeah.
So, anyway, should we wrap up this mini-sode?
I think we should.
You think? Okay.
Today's been a chaotic day of recording.
It has. I mean, if you like the idea of these mini-sodes, leave us a comment somewhere. There's multiple places you could do it. So.
Yeah. And if you don't, keep your comments to yourself.
Yeah. All right. And if you want to be featured on these, email us at
igsttystories@gmail.com.
Yes.
Seb just walked by.
He did.
Yeah.
Trying to scare us.
Yeah. That jerk. Enemy.
Well, what?
The enemy.
Oh, yeah, the enemy. The spirit box called him the enemy earlier when he tried to walk in.
Okay.
Okay, thanks for listening.
Thanks. Later.